Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Betting Show. We got my guy over there, Dan Hickman. Dan, how are you doing today, my guy?
Doing awesome. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, sir. I am Kayvon Ezami. Follow him, Dan H720. Myself, Kayvon underscore sports. This is the Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Betting Show. It is week 9. And if you have not joined us before, you're missing out. But guess what? It's never too late. This is how the show works. Dan has 3 picks. I have 3 picks. We will give 3, 2, 1. Our last picks are our favorite picks. We like to call them our Fighting Chance best bets. So far on the show, Dan, update the viewers our record so far through what? Is this our 4th show now?
Correct. This is our 4th show. We're looking at week 9 of college football coming up, and let me scroll up a bit. I did put that in here. And yeah, so far this season as a pair, we are 13-5 overall. Kayvon over here is 7-2, coming off a 2-1 week last week. 2 weeks ago, we both did go undefeated. I do want to mention that.
Yes,
3-0.
we did. 6-0.
Last week, my worst week of the season individually and on the show. I'm not proud of it, but it happens. I was 1-2 last week. So he's 7-2 on the season, and I'm 6-3 overall on the season so far.
you can't get much better than that. That is pretty awesome, and we look to keep it going. We're transparent, just like Dan said. When we have a bad week, we're going to come on here and tell you. When we have a good week, we're obviously going to come on here and tell you. That's how it works. We will always tell you. We'll always talk about our picks, and we'll always say what our next picks are this week. Dan, before we get into it, my guy, I think there's something that you want to enlighten the bettors on about a possible Friday night play.
Yeah, because I missed out on the thing you could probably talk about that's going on right now, but excuse me, I definitely really have a soft spot for this Nevada team myself. I've been high on them since before the season started, and it really has been unwavering. There's through the ups and downs of their season to this point. Got this is just an extra bonus play here. So I encourage anyone out there to kind of look across your shops or your books and see what you can find here. Basically, we've got a really good like angry Carson Strong, the Nevada quarterback. Last week that tough loss at Fresno State. He's one of the most highly touted NFL draft quarterback prospects to anyone who has been out of the loop on this. The guy could easily be the number 1 quarterback picked in next year's or in this upcoming NFL draft, I should say.
For sure.
This is like an in-state rival game, but quite honestly, I kind of look at UNLV. They've been mostly pretty bad this season. Let's see. I've got basically like 2 bets here that I really like. It's going to be Nevada spread -7 in the first quarter.
Love that.
Just a half unit on that one. And I was able to get that at plus money at plus 100. Looks on DraftKings. So I jumped on that last night. The other one is a Nevada team total over 20.5 points in the first half. Notice that 20.5. I don't really, if it gets over 21, I don't really like that as much. I think they're going to easily get 3 touchdowns in that first half.
I do too.
So I think that's a strong one, and no pun intended, I got a half unit on that as well. This is a superior versus a weakling in terms of the in-state rivalry. Even if, what's his name, Brumfield plays for UNLV at quarterback, although they've been like a Jekyll and Hyde situation, kind of like 2 different teams when he's playing, they're much better. I still like both of these plays. I think they're a little more immune to him being a factor that's going to hurt you by just getting it early. I think Nevada jumps on him right away. I have seen Nevada start off 1 game slow this season that made me nervous at Cal early in the season when I was backing them, and they came back and won me all the money that night, and it was wonderful. But usually they're out guns blazing early on, I believe, pretty strong early on. So just another reason I like them very much tomorrow night. What about you?
Yep, I am with you on everything you said. We've been talking about that game. I think it's a fun game. I love betting a good Thursday Friday night game. I got on, like you said, I got on Troy. I got him at plus
Yeah.
19 earlier in the week against Coastal Carolina. That game's happening right now, so there's really no point in me giving that out, obviously, or talking about it. But Troy is only down a touchdown right now with 8 minutes left in the third, so hopefully that holds on.
Slip.
But I bet what everything Dan just said. My two favorite bets though are the first quarter and the first half team total. I just think that Nevada is going to make it a real standpoint of theirs to come out swinging on this drive. I mean on this game, kind of put UNL. By the way, UNLV. I know they haven't won a game, and a lot of people want to hate on them. They've actually been playing much better football as of late. They've kept it close. Nevada knows that, and that's why I think they're not going to take this lightly. They're going to come out. They're going to put it on them. They're going to give it their all. So I love that, man. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into our picks here?
I mean, obviously Carson Strong's going to try to impress. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
he has not going to take his foot off the gas individually.
no.
So that's just an extra nice little small factor that can help us there.
No doubt. All right, Dan, let's get into it, man. For the first picks of the week, this is your third bet here. Your first bet, but you're third in the ranking order here. What do you got, my guy?
Yep. Gonna go ahead and go to the conference that everyone makes fun of me for betting on every week, but that usually is pretty profitable anyway. So I'm just gonna go to the ACC. I'm gonna go to a place 2 hours down the road from where I grew up, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Shout out to Grove Stadium and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Gonna go with Wake minus 16.5. Got it like minus 110. I think it's gonna keep going down, ticking. It's actually going to keep ticking up for Wake, like towards the 3 touchdown mark. So I do recommend getting on that as soon as possible and to get as much, if any, line value as you can. I personally think they're going to win this game by over 3 touchdowns against Duke. It's just a short drive for Duke down the road, as we know. It's, are from Raleigh, from NC State. However, when teams go there, just that little short bus ride, I don't know what it is about it. I've seen NC State go down there and I've watched the game in person and seen them lay multiple eggs at Wake. Not to say they're the same team, but that place is just an odd spot for other teams. Outside of all that weird stuff, all that voodoo magic stuff I'm talking about. Wait, all right. Let's see. Duke is coming off their bye. Before that, they were actually shut out at UVA back on October 16th. I don't know how any respectable offense in college football gets shut out by the Virginia Cavaliers. Period. End of story. For all the talk about Wake can't stop the run, which that is their weakness, and I know Duke's got a good running back and all that. No, it's not going to serve them very well here. Wake's going to jump all over them early, and I think they're going to control the flow of this game. And Duke is going to have a very, very hard time. I don't think they'll even halfway be able to keep up with Wake. Their defense ranks 104th overall. Wake is, 5th overall in the whole country in total offense. The passing game is elite. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't his name Hartman or something like that? I don't know the quarterback's name for Wake, but he's ranking pretty high up there in terms of like efficiency numbers. I was looking at total yards, touchdown throws, touchdown passes, I should say. I mean, this is, you could even look at Wake team total if you wanted to, as well. It's just a really favorable situation here. I would take this all the way to probably maybe at minus 20, maybe even 21. I mean, obviously, just jump on it sooner than later. I say that all the time, but it's true. Like, get that thing in there as soon as you can and lock that one in. It's I think even though it's laying a lot of points on, it's a great spot this week.
Absolutely love that play, man. That's something I would have had actually probably on my 3 if you didn't have it, but I didn't want to copy because we've got something coming up that we'll talk about here in a minute to give you a little tease. So for my first play here, I'm going with something that this is a tough one here. Like this is a good game, okay? I'm taking Auburn over Ole Miss, okay? And I'm taking Auburn over Ole Miss, and you can lay the points with them. It's -2, or you can take them on the money line. It's totally up to you on how you want to do it. I got it at -2. It's actually -2.5, -3 now. I like it at -3. I personally also just like it on the money line. I know some people don't like to lay 140 on the money line. That's fine. I usually don't like to do that much either. Look, this is why. This is a very tough game, but Auburn's coming off a bye where they just off this bye, they just beat a really tough Arkansas team against a rushing quarterback in KJ Jefferson, who they will now have to face a rushing quarterback in Matt Carroll. So they've got that experience. The main thing is they're home, they're off a bye, and Ole Miss has had the gauntlet of all gauntlet schedules. I mean, the schedule makers did not give Ole Miss any help at all. They just had to play Alabama, lost. Then they went and played Arkansas, won in a 52-51 game. Then they went to Tennessee, and that was one of the most fast-paced games ever. They won 31-26. That was the whole mess, golf ball thrown at Lane Kiffin, all that stuff. Then they had to come back home and beat LSU. That is a tough schedule. Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and LSU, and not to mention each week, Matt Corral is getting more and more bruised up, unfortunately. He's taking big hits. I just think that if this gas is running out of the Ole Miss tank. I love what they've done this year. I love what Lane Kiffin has done. But Auburn at home, off a bye, they're the healthy team. They're the rested team. They have the much better defense, which is very important in this game. I'm taking the 3 points with Auburn. I really think Auburn wins this game by a touchdown. I like Auburn as my first pick here. I wanted to get in a good game, a highlight game here. Sometimes I go a little off. Really, really like this one here. Auburn -3. If you can get at 2.5, that's even better. Maybe it might come down right before game kickoff. You can look at that, but that's my first pick. Dan, what you got for number 2, man? Okay, so this one's interesting here, right? I guess what we can do is, I'll just say it like this. Me and Dan are both on this play, but Dan, being the smart guy he is, he's kind of come up with different ways we can play it. So, Dan, what I'll do, man, is I'll go ahead and say the main pick, and then I'll toss it over to you to do the rest, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going with this second pick, me and Dan are both on this. This is both our second pick here. We are going with Cincinnati -24.5. Now, listen, that line has come up, okay? And that line has now come up to, I think, 27 is the last we've seen it. I'm not going to lie. I still like it. I really like it all the way up to 28. I mean, 28's the key number. I really do.
Yeah.
I like it all the way up to 28 there.
I'm with you.
It's this simple, guys. Cincinnati is hanging on by a thread. Luke Fickell knows it. Everybody knows it. If they have one more game, see, this isn't like Bama and them where they can lose a game and be fine. They can't lose a game. They're done. They can't win a game by like less than 30 points. Like they have to win by more than that. And after that Navy game, that put them back a little bit. The only way they can bounce back now is if they
put us a little back too.
Yeah, they did. They really did. We were hurting on that. We were all in on that. And they have to bounce back. Tulane's not a good team. They're going to take their frustrations out on it. Everybody in the Cincinnati organization knows it. They're going to pound it. The 24.5, 25, 26, 27. Lay the number. Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I hate laying big numbers as much as anyone I talk this with, like yourself. But I absolutely love them this week. How could you not? So we're looking at Tulane is literally the punching bag narrative this week for me in all of college football. And this is like kind of a narrative spot where we're talking about a team like Cincinnati they only beat I watched that game last week a little bit, at least the replays of it and like the condensed version of it in the evening. And it was like, it was just so disappointing to see them beat a team like Navy by 7 points in short. And this week you can bet your ass they're going to be trying to kick the living crap out of whoever they play.
No doubt.
Now, of all teams for that to be, it's going to be a team that is 128th out of 130th in total offense. I'm sorry, in total defense this season. And Cincinnati is still in the top 10 in total offense in the whole country. With all that being said, and what you touched on with the playoff, they have to smoke everybody.
Yeah.
So there's a weak showing here.
It's over. It's over.
It's putting them out of the playoff talk pretty much. So it's kind of like put up or shut up time and all that. So there's just so much good narrative here. Aside from that, the matchup is just, there's no reason they should not dominate this Tulane team.
Yeah.
I like laying the big number on them actually, and I also think even though that team total over is higher than it's been in the recent weeks, and even though it personally, like we were saying, hurt us last week at 43.5, I'm gonna match the over there for minimum half to probably 1.5 units. I haven't decided yet. I personally just put that play in right before the show actually, so.
Yep.
I strongly recommend that one, and yeah, I think it'll be, if you like watching a throat stomping, go watch the game.
No doubt. Fun. Yeah, couldn't agree. Couldn't agree more. And if you like watching that, if you just like winning some money, like look, there is never a sure thing bet in college football. Never. They could go out there, someone could get hurt in any sport right away. It just never is. But again, with what is on the line and with what is happening in Tulane, look, it's just this simple. Cincinnati has to get it done. And Cincinnati is a very good football team. I'd be shocked if they don't. And I think that there's many ways to play it. I also played it first half. I played them on the spread first half. I got that at 13.5 earlier. I think it's at like 14.5 now. But I think that this is without a doubt. All right, Dan, I'm going to send it right back to you for your fighting chance fantasy best bet of the week, my guy. This is a tense one. What you got?
It's not exactly spicy, although it comes from a part of the country where lots of things are spicy.
Oh, dude, I don't know. This is spicy to me. When you start talking about this team, I get excited because this is your baby. This is your baby.
It kind of is this season. I just want to preface this by saying this week was I forgot to say this earlier. This week was really hard in terms of going. It's like been an accordion. It was like totally shut, and there was like no spots that were just jumping out at me like Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday rolls around and it starts to open a little, and then yesterday it kind of opens up even more, and then I kind of got to retool everything and think about, all right, what are the 3 favorite spots? So without any further ado, drum rolls and all that, it's going to be UTEP Miners. All right, plus 11.5 at FAU. Not my favorite opponent to hear they have to go face on the road. I definitely respect this opponent, but this could be a really like complex analysis, but it's actually a really simple one for me. It's just, FAU's got a pretty solid offense, a pretty solid defense, but they don't really jump off the page at anything. I've seen them play Air Force pretty poorly, and Air Force spanked them pretty easily. So I don't really, to me, that just kind of skews my respect meter down like that a little bit for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a litmus test for me. But UTEP's like 5-2 against the spread this season. It's a team that week in, week out, there's seemingly always some value, even if it's kind of a gross line or number. This week, I really like it. I mean, it's stinky from the point of like, it looks like, oh, they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns. They very well could. However, the the way they played this season, they played well on the road. There's been other situations like this before this season where people think, oh, this is the week they're not going to cover. Think again. This is one of those situations where you're not going to take your foot off the gas as a gambler on this team. You're going to keep riding UTEP this week. Another reason that's the case is they're actually their defensive coordinator's done an amazing job this season. He's probably going to get scooped up. I forget his name. He's going to get scooped up by another bigger conference team here in the offseason is my prediction. And therefore, how many games left do we have? We're down to, this is week 9. Then we got 10, 11, 12. So we only have like 3 weeks after this, I believe.
Yeah.
We've got like till the end of November, like Thanksgiving, like that Friday, that Saturday. So we only have so many more chances with UTEP. And if you've been off of it, this is not a bad time to just go ahead and get on the train with everybody. I think a lot of sharps and Rex will be all over this play. And I've been on it all season. I'm not backing down now.
So
let's go.
The reason why I was saying this is baby is he's been killing this play with UTEP. I mean, he has been, whether they're a favorite or a dog, it doesn't matter. Shoot, they were a 7-point dog 2 weeks ago, and they won that baby outright. It was a plus 220 money line. I took that all day. I mean,
you also, this is a good week to lump them in if you want to do a parlay. If you want to do like some kind of money line parlay, they're definitely one of the suitors. Like, you're going to probably put them in with somebody this week, no matter who that might be. And we could always talk about that, but generally we don't really recommend playing those, and we don't do much of them when you and I do, at least. I mean, I texted you something kind of shameful earlier in the week about what I'm playing this week. We could always spill the beans, but this team is a good spot to attack if you want to go that route as well.
No doubt, man. So great play there. UTEP plus 11 or whatever the best line you can get it at now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. So look, this one, and just like Dan said, for mine, I don't like to lay big numbers usually, but there's weeks like this where I just have to find value. And that's what betting is all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about finding value. It's all about finding what number you feel like is off. And I'm going to go to another big game. I'm taking Ohio State minus 18.5 over Penn State at home. Listen, Ohio State's going to win this game by 3 touchdowns or more. Penn State's coach is out the door. He's heading to USC. Whether you guys want to think it or not, the man just lost. The Penn State just lost in 9 overtimes to Illinois at home. And then later this week, he's in a press conference, and these reporters are asking him questions, and he's saying, we're practicing for Illinois right now. He doesn't even know what's going on, man. He's talking about Illinois. They just played 9 overtimes. You would think he would know that they're playing Ohio State, their biggest game on the schedule. If you haven't seen that press conference of James Franklin, go watch it. His mind is everywhere. I just don't think this Penn State team is focused. And more importantly, I think this Ohio State team is rolling. Guys, their last 3 games, they won Rutgers, and I get it. Look, it's Rutgers 52-13, Maryland 66-17, Indiana at home primetime game 54-7. Penn State just lost to Illinois in a 9 overtime game. Their quarterback Sean Clifford is very banged up. He is not 100% healthy. Ohio State lost earlier in the year, and just like Cincinnati, Ohio State can't lose. They cannot lose again. And not only that, they have to have style points because Michigan's still winning. Michigan State's still winning. If they want to make the playoffs, they already have had their one life taken away. They can't have another one. They can't lose again. They have to keep winning. This game is at home. It's a primetime game. The offense is clicking. It started out at 16.5. It's now moved to 18.5. I like this play all the way up to 19.5, 20. As long as you get it below the 21, I think Ohio State wins by 3 touchdowns. And again, I don't usually like to lay the numbers like this, but there's value here. Ohio State is the much better team. I'm taking the big number with Ohio State.
Interesting.
Yep, it's a big one. Yep, it's a big one, man. I knew that was the one every week. I had a feeling that one, the Auburn one, I had a feeling both of mine you might think, oh, this is tough. So
it's a little bold. It's a little bold for me, but because like those coaches' press conference for me can be a little like tricky or noisy or misleading. But like what you were saying about it, I think obviously some wheels came off. I mean, 9 overtime game is kind of an outlier event in college football. So how are they going to respond after playing that game? And that's mysterious to me. So, I could see it going that way.
Yeah, it will be an interesting one. Again, it's just everything combined, and then on top of it, Ohio State looks so good right now, and Penn State does not have the offense to keep up with them. They don't. They're not a good offensive football team. It's just going to be. I just don't see how it happens, especially if this game was in Penn State or something. Now, this is Saturday night in the Horseshoe, man. It's just it's going to be a blowout, man. It's going to be a blowout. I would play it first half. I think they're going to run all over them. I think it's going to be full game. Don't go crazy or anything. Like it's not like Cincinnati, but I'm just saying this is. I really see some blowouts happening here with my Cincinnati and Ohio State game. So that's it, Dan. Read us your plays one last time.
Yeah, of course. Wake Forest -16.5 against Duke. Cincinnati, me and Kayvon are together on this one, -24.5. Although you're probably going to see this or hear this, and it might already be 28. If that's the case, maybe instead of playing a whole unit on it, just play a half unit at team total over 43.5.
Yeah,
I would probably recommend that pivot there.
I think that's the best advice you can get right there, honestly. And I know it's tough. We give you the line and it goes up, but Dan's right. There's a lot of ways you can look at it. Also, the ways he was talking about it with his early pick, team total, first half maybe, but definitely
you can look at that too, and that's fine. And if you're bored tomorrow night and you want to throw a little bonus in there, of course, it was off our 3 picks, but we've got the Nevada first quarter spread -7. Team total in the first half was 20.5. Gets over 21. Don't like it as much. So if you hear this, jump on those. And my favorite pick of the week, not exactly like trying to be bold or crazy like my partner here, but I went with UTEP +11.5.
That's it, man. Great stuff for my picks. I've got Auburn -3. Or the money line if you want to be a little bit safer. I'm going to give out for the show. The official pick is -3. And then I've got Cincinnati -24.5. Just like Dan said, many ways to play that, but -24.5. Again, I like it up to 27, but then other ways to play it for sure. And then the final one, the big bold pick, my best bet of the week, Ohio State -18.5 over Penn State. I think that this is a 3-touchdown domination game, and I cannot wait for it. Guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a lot to us. We love doing these shows, so whenever you guys like it, whenever you subscribe, it just helps us out. As me and Dan always say, reach out to us on Twitter. If you listen to this show and then you go to your book and you see the lines are all changed and you want to get some clarity, reach out to us. We'll answer for sure. We'll give you our thoughts on, if it's moved this much, don't play it. We will definitely help you out any way you can. If you have any other picks you like, let us know. Me and Dan are very interactive. We like talking to everyone out there. And Dan, anything you got to say?
We'll feel a little on the spot, but good luck out there. Don't forget to kind of watch those injury reports this time of year. It can be a little dicey. It can kind of sway things. It's like great that we have all this data to use, but it's like challenging that we have questionable players on both sides. So just kind of be aware of that before you plop the money down.
So that might be the best advice you can get is during this time of the year in college football, just take yourself a minute and look up, some people, they just go, love this number, bet it. Just do a little bit more research. Make sure this dude's playing. This dude's not out. Make sure about it. That's all we're saying. Great stuff. Dan, Dan H720. Go give him a follow on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. Give me a follow at Fighting Chance Fantasy. Give them a follow. And we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with hopefully another 6-0 week. 13-5 overall so far, guys. 13-5. Dan, let's keep it rolling. Have a great weekend, everyone.